Who is Randy?
Don't bring anyone mother into this.
Yo, mom in the fucking stand!
I always have to ask people stupid questions.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's what I think about when I watch shows. Okay, remember when Meadow was like... just like a girl, and then like one time you came back from like a cycle and you were super hot and everybody was like, Meadow's hot, like everybody was talking about when you blossomed into ladyhood. Did you feel it back then? Were you awkward? Were you like, oh my god, everyone knows I'm a woman now?
No, I just
me?
like, I feel like I remember a couple of like when they started.
I feel like Christina really knows.
Wait,
Because it was like a big deal.
Let
Were like,
let me not
"Meadow's
glaze
hot."
over. Thank you.
Yeah.
But I think I remember like when they started dressing me less like tank tops over tees and butterfly
See?
clips and stuff and like more womanly. I think I remember like some of the older gentlemen in the like crew and like the set, like the actors kind of being like, oh, okay.
Were they
that's
doing
who
stuff?
you are.
Was
now.
it like you guys are at lunch and then one of the crew guys is like eating and he's like, hey, trying to eat this lunch, but your tits look pretty good from here. Like stuff
You
like
know,
that.
could have happened. I don't
that?
remember that specifically,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say that maybe didn't happen.
It maybe
very,
did
very
happen.
could have
Because
happened.
that is what I noticed is like one season you were like this little girl and then you came back and Meadow had changed. Like,
Well,
she
yeah,
was
and then
in-
I was like having boyfriends and losing my
Yeah.
virginity and things like that. So yes,
It
that
was
happened.
abrupt.
We
I
would
was
do-
not ready.
They did not prepare you.
We would do read-throughs, and it was like everybody from the cast would come, even if you weren't working that day. Everyone just showed up, and you walked in the same entrance. So the autograph guys would figure that out, and they'd be like, okay, we can get all these dudes on one day. And they'd just be waiting there.
Autograph dudes are so weird.
Weird.
Oh,
It's
my
very
They're
strange.
so weird.
I'm getting like,
Sorry.
you know,
Go ahead.
just thinking about like them being able to, but they're great. They, they were waiting outside and they always have me sign, and some of them were cool. You know, you say what's up to them, and you're like, yeah, how are you, blah, blah, blah. And the guy has me sign it and I look and it's me and Jamie and her boob is out. And we're at the red carpet of like
Yeah.
this
Oh, shit.
Golden Globe Awards or
Okay,
what
so
was
this
it?
was like when it was an Emmys.
Hello.
This is when I didn't realize you could ask for someone to like do your hair and makeup. So it was still where I was like, I put like braids in my hair wet the night before. So I had like a kinky wave. I brought my dad with me to the Emmys. I was like so excited. And someone for the first time gave me a dress. Like the first two Emmys, I went to Bloomingdale's and bought Laundry by Shelley Segal dresses, okay? So now I have like this like Cynthia Rowley leather dress and I was like super stoked and my nipple, are you looking for it? My nipple, my full nipple was out the whole time.
Google.
I hope
he
it's
finds it.
not that. Nope. I got my shit together by then.
But what's crazy was I always looked at Jamie as my sister and like a little, like I never looked at her in a sexual way ever. And when he showed it to me, I was so uncomfortable and like weirded out. And I know I'm about to see Jamie. So I walk up and I go to Jamie and I'm like, oh my God, how do I tell her this? I'm like, and I think this is when you said like she blossomed into a woman. I think this is when it happened because I said to her, one of those fucking guys downstairs had a picture of you and he had me sign it and your tit was out. And she was like, oh, did it look good? And I was like, and that was the first time I ever thought of Jamie in like some kind of, I was like, whoa.
Well,
like,
I mean, that's my next thought. I mean, that sucks, but
Yeah,
of
you
course.
look good.
if it's out there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the right, by the way, perspective to have.
But I felt the pressure. And I think why I noticed so much is because I know how awkward adolescence is in private. And then to be on this huge show where so many eyeballs are on you and you're transitioning into being a lady, it's like, oh.
Well, I went through like a lot of changes in the first couple years and weight fluctuation, and
That's got to be fun.
It was it wasn't it wasn't, and I got like I would remember like being on a radio show and people would call in and like ask me how much weight I gained, and it like
oh my God,
and as a 17-year-old girl, it like
very
really
comforting.
fucked
Thank
me
you.
up.
Yeah.
And I remember at that point I kind of put my blinders on and was like, I'm just gonna like focus on my experience on this show and I'm not gonna pay attention to what else is out there because I can't emotionally handle it. Like I was not strong enough.
Jamie-Lynn, big fan. What'd you eat today?
Exactly. And the thing is that on that set, like nobody nobody ever cared what. Like,
Of course.
people came back different sizes every season. Like,
Of
no one
course.
said anything. It's just like, how are you? You great? Cool. Well,
With that
that's just your size now? Great.
Crew of guys, if they probably were 15 pounds more every season.
Yeah.
But it was great for my confidence with trying to get laid elsewhere because I was like, oh, Jamie's on the cover of FHM and she's insecure. Well, then,
Yeah.
you know, it's gotta, because I was
Dude,
200 pounds when the show started.
Really?
I was
What?
huge. Yeah, and I lost like 60 pounds on the Atkins diet. So I was super
Wait, how
insecure.
old were you when you started on the show? Because you were a kid.
12?
Yeah. But that is not normal for 12-year-old boys to gain
No,
and
it
then
wasn't.
you shoot up. Oh.
It happened like like my grandmother passed away and I just started eating everything,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
all of a
sure.
sudden, but once I was on TV, I kind of realized like, okay, if I lose this weight, we could start, you know, I started noticing girls and this, and I was like, let's do, so I did the Atkins diet for 3 months, lost 60 pounds, and then just,
Wow.
yeah,
That's incredible.
Yeah.
and I was just
My
like, oh, I could
favorite-
eat burgers and hot dogs every day.
The autograph guys, they'll be like, sometimes, first of all, sometimes they wait at airports
Yeah.
in the, so like I'll have a gig in Denver. And I'm walking by baggage claim and they're like, hey man, what's up? And I'm like, hey, what's up? And there's like 4 guys. I'm like, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we figured you were coming to Denver for your show tonight. So we're here.
Just waiting for
And you're
hours.
like, huh? And then they're like, will you sign something? And you're like, okay. And so you sign and then they go, all right.
Yeah.
And then they pull out like 18 pieces
Yeah.
and you're like, do you want me to sign all those? And they're
Yeah.
like, do you mind? And then you're like, I guess not, man.
It's such a weird
such
thing.
a
Like, do they
weird
even,
thing.
are they even worth anything anymore?
I can't
They
imagine.
used to have
Can't
us sign
imagine.
white pieces of paper.
Yeah.
Like when they were out of
That's like
pictures and they were
that's,
like,
authentication stuff, right? So it's like it's a distinct
Oh, yeah?
piece of
Got
paper,
it.
so they can authenticate what you're. But then the other one, this guy goes, I guess the Tops made baseball cards,
Yeah.
and then they had some comedians on it. So this guy goes, "Will you sign? Like, I got your card." I'm like, "Sure." And then he pulls out one of those things, and it was he had 36 of them. He goes, "Do you mind signing all of them?" And I was like, "Come on, man." 36 for your private
crazy.
like you're not gonna sell these for more. No
Right.
one wants the Tom fucking Tops card. Like, I don't know. It's just it's a strange
But,
thing.
and that's the thing. Like they went all the way to that airport to ask you, how do they feel when someone's like, nope, and just keeps walking,
know.
and they're like, oh man, I came all like I parked the car in the parking.
Can I
thing.
tell you that I want
and
to be that
waited,
guy?
just waited for flights from LA to
Like,
come in or
I
whatever.
so
The hospital's
respect
like the
the
airport's like the
people-
hospital. I would never.
That's crazy.
I would never stand in the
Hospitals-
airport.
Yeah, but I want to be the like, oh no, and I can't. Like every time.
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course,
I'm like,
yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
I'll
yeah.
stand.
You just don't.
I've
you don't want to leave that legacy around.
No. just
I've
be
never
nice.
been addicted to one of those guys, but I was kind of addicted to one when we went to
Yeah.
the 20-year anniversary because this guy's like, hey, can I get an autograph? And of course, I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then he, like 2 seconds later, no, he elbows me to get to Jamie. And I'm like, this fucking dude just elbowed. And we were leaving. So me and Jamie shared a car. We get in the same car and we're driving off. And then like the dude runs up to the car at the light and was trying to get more while we're at, and I was like, don't fucking open that. Like I was pissed, you know, but normally it's like, yeah, they're just,
Good for you.
yeah, I was like, don't
you.
fucking open that window. Jamie's like, I have to. And she just opened it in this. I was like, this piece of shit. Because he was so like, hey man,
Yeah.
can you, oh, I'm such a bit. And then as soon as like that,
Boom.
as soon as the cap went back on the marker, he just gave me
Get
an
the
elbow.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Jeans. Did you like that highlight? Well, you can watch an entire episode here or more highlights here, but definitely subscribe here. That way you can, get the latest videos as they drop. For real, 4 strokes.